What's up, you guys? Welcome to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review, and in this week's video, we're going to be talking about a supernatural school horror drama called School Ningyo. Now, School Ningyo is based off of an urban legend at the school that if you revisit the school after sunset, you will see mermaids, and if you can capture a mermaid and consume its flesh, you can get the person that you like to like you back. Now, plot-wise, School Ningyo does not follow a linear plot or a linear story, and it's mostly a series of different short stories with different characters entering the school for their own different motives and reasons. And story-wise, a lot of the characters don't have very good reasons for going to the school after sunset or at night to kill these mermaids. Because as we find out throughout the story, it's a lot more difficult than just going to the school at night, capturing a mermaid, and consuming its flesh. That there are a lot of loopholes, there are time limits, and there are different conditions in which the mermaids actually become hostile. These are not half human, half fish mermaids. They look like docile high school Japanese schoolgirls on a swim team. And they can go through objects, through walls, through matter. It is a lot of different technicalities and conditions within School Ningyo for these girls in order to kill these mermaids, in order for them to get their true love. Now, we see from the first chapter that these girls have some screws loose. We have two girls at a store shopping for weapons in which to effectively kill a mermaid, and they're just so casual about how they're going to kill the mermaids. They're just so casual about murdering these creatures or these humanoids that they don't even know what they look like. They don't know anything about the conditions or the rituals that they're about to partake in, but they're just so casual about murdering for the sake of some boy in a certain class. And the mermaids aren't the real monsters here. It's the girls, because there's a lot of backstabbing, treachery. School Ningyo is not gory. There's not a lot of guts or gratuitous violence. But there is a lot of rivalry going on between the girls that enter the school. And there is some violence towards the mermaids and some violence that the mermaids perpetuate towards the girls. But as you read School Ningyo, you will find out that the girls are the monsters. It's not the mermaids. The mermaids are fine. It's the girls that are the monsters. I don't read School Ningyo for the plot, because none of these girls actually have any good reason to go and partake in this ritual in order to capture these mermaids and consume their flesh for any of these boys at their school. It's just not worth it. You can't logically come up with any type of excuse or reason that these girls are doing what they're doing at all. These girls have some screws loose. You read through this, you're going to find out they have some screws loose. I don't read it for plot. I read it more so to see how each different short story is going to end. Because like I said, there's backstabbing, there's rivalry, there's treachery, there's betrayal, there's secrecy. And, each different ending comes out a different way. And you don't really see a lot of them coming. But as you read through School Ningyo, you do get accustomed to the betrayal and the secrecy, and you might be able to predict some events and some twists. But most of the time, School Ningyo manages to keep on surprising you, and you do discover later on that there is a little bit more to the rituals and to the mermaids than meets the eye. Now, there is definitely a sequel to this series called School Ningyo 2. But there's not too many chapters of that out. But I definitely like reading this series just for the short stories and just for the endings, because it's just fun to see how these girls just turn on each other and just what they're willing to do for love. And it doesn't make any sense. The artwork is generic in my opinion, and I just don't like how they drew the mermaids. Like they just drew these mermaids in like the sense of this gigantic orgy. Like, the mermaids just fill up the entire panel. They can move through matter, like concrete, walls, water, none of that. None of it means anything. All of it's like absolute liquid to them. They can They can splash through the ceiling, they can splash through a wall and everything. And when they appear within the manga, it's just like this big orgy, and I just think it was a little bit excessive and over the top, and it took out it took away from the mystery of the mermaids. Like, the mermaids were supposed to be this threatening and mysterious type of creature within the manga, but the way the artists portrayed them, or the way the author portrayed them, and the way they were just shown throughout it, it just kind of made it seem like just it made it seem cheap. Like, the mermaids were just a dime a dozen, and they weren't really that scary until they got hostile. I would rather it have been like you have one mermaid or two mermaids or three mermaids a night or something like that, and it's more like of a hide and seek thing. But it's just really like tag your it. Like, you have to manage to tag a mermaid, and then boom, you got them. And that's the only thing I wish could be different about School Ningyo, because the mermaids, at first, the mermaids don't seem that threatening. And that's the point. In School Ningyo, the mermaids aren't really the monsters. They aren't really even the bad guys. And they're not even the big threat. The threat is the person you go into the school with. The threat is the conditions of the ritual in order to see the mermaids. The threat is the different conditions and technicalities around it all. That's the big threat. But this is VM. Read School Ningyo. Just read it. Just read it and see how twisted these girls are. They are just so casual about murder and violence and cannibalism. It makes no sense. Read it. Tell me what you think. Do you really enjoy School Ningyo? I know I did for the short stories. I don't enjoy it for the plot. The plot is stupid. The girls are stupid. And the reasoning is stupid, but the backstabbing and the betrayal is definitely funny to see. This is VM. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.